A person who has agreed that every life is valuable, whether the person is diseased or has a problem, whatever problem it is, will value that life.
Is the issue of abortion just a moral debate, or is there a healthcare angle to it? Well, today we'll be hearing arguments from both pro-life and pro-choice perspectives on the rationale behind getting an abortion. My name is Chris.
And my name is Elvis Christian, and you're welcome to Paul's Hot Takes. And it's an interesting conversation today, and I'm so glad to welcome our distinguished guest. So let's get to know you. First time coming on the show. Let's meet you.
My name is Ayo Mitide, but I prefer to be called Tide. I always feel like Ayo Mitide can be a mouthful.
Yeah, it is.
And I am a professional dressmaker. I lead the team at Chen Lagos. And what we do basically is create traditional wedding designs. I feel like you can always walk into anywhere to buy a wedding dress, but what really takes care of you for your traditional looks. And over the years, we've done different tribes across Nigeria. Wow. And I love traditional African fabric. That's like my major thing. It fascinates me, from the old weaving to production. It really makes me happy. So that's what I do now. And I also teach. Beyond dressmaking, I realized a vacuum. A lot of fashion designers do not really know how to do their businesses properly. So what I do is I teach fashion designers how to properly price and do their finances.
All right.
So I can call you for my wedding.
She took
definitely.
sell your market to the core. Like,
sell your market was the first thing.
I think the best sell your market we've ever heard on the show.
Consider me sold.
Okay.
I'll be bought. Whatever it is.
Thank you.
Because she's of marriageable age.
You're wow. But I am of marriageable age.
Yeah.
I'm just a baby.
All right, so let's sell your market too.
My name is Kunle Kenny. Second time on the show. I'm a gospel recording artist. I'm a vocal coach. I'm a music director.
Fantastic.
And
so
a Pulse returning customer.
in the society.
There's no feeling.
All right, so let's jump straight into the conversation. Is the conversation and controversy of abortion just morality, or is there a healthcare angle to it? Basically what we're discussing today. So are you pro-life or pro-choice?
I'm a Christian.
So you're pro-Jesus.
So I'm pro-life because you cannot talk about life without gleaning from what the author of life has to say.
Sister.
I like that. All right, so you pro-life, pro-choice?
I'm pro-life.
So basically for our audience, pro-life is anti-abortion and pro-choice is pro-abortion. So I am pro-choice, and are you?
Gladly pro-choice.
All right. So why? Why pro-life? I mean, you already let's move to him. You already stated this Christian and all of that. So why are you pro-life? Why do you feel women shouldn't have?
It speaks to the value of human life at the very core of it. Okay. And I'd just like to start with that, right? The value of human life. And that's where, so I'm sure people will have other things, but let me just say that where I'm standing is the value of human life.
All right. So for me, right, I want to say as a rebuttal to the value of human life, many times we tend to think that abortions are against the value of human life. In my opinion, in several instances, abortions are done to preserve human life.
Yeah.
Right? Because life is not black and white, because many times when people hear abortion, they think it is all someone who has been very promiscuous, falls pregnant, and doesn't want to deal with the consequences of the lifestyle. Well, in many situations, there are many situations where pregnancies and giving birth is a life threat, and an abortion is advised. So many abortions do not necessarily say we don't value human life. Actually, in many cases, the majority, might I add, it is preservation of life.
Okay. So let me answer you for that. There is something where we're doing conversations where we cannot make the extreme the norm, right? So when there is threat to a life, let's say a woman is pregnant and it's either she dies or the baby dies and all of that, then that conversation can be had, right? But we cannot now make what happens in extreme situations the norm. Based on data, how many people are actually getting abortions because there is a threat to the life of the person being pregnant? So, I mean, that's a conversation that is open. So,
all right. So still on that, right? Meanwhile, people tend to say, oh, if there's a threat to the life of the mother or even the baby, right? Because that's even another angle. An abortion is advised. If someone who is not able to mother a child decides not to have a child, even after conception, it is valid.
okay.
An example, you might say it's an extreme, but I disagree. I don't think it's an extreme. I don't believe any underaged child should give birth.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't think children should give birth to children. Because no matter what you want to say, there is no way a child, a 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old would get pregnant and it is not abuse.
Again, we are going to.
It's not an extreme.
Again, we
This
are
happens
going
every
to.
day.
No. We
This
are
happens-
going.
I
We are going.
disagree.
So what we should not do is to use again extreme
It's
cases.
not an extreme.
Let us use data, right?
Let's just present
what?
data.
Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
There are more people who get pregnant at certain ages beyond how many teenagers are getting pregnant. So these are the conversations we should have.
And I think
right?
that most likely for teenagers who get pregnant, there is always an underlying matter, usually rape. Rape.
So you're saying that it is valid when someone aborts a baby as a result of rape?
No, it's not valid.
Okay.
Medically, life begins at conception. And for a woman who gets pregnant, by the time she's 8 weeks pregnant, you can hear the heartbeat of
Yes,
the
at
baby.
8 weeks, yeah.
When someone is raped, there are medical interventions that can be done as soon as the act happens that can in that
Yeah, there's a rape kit,
pregnancy.
yes,
Yes. So when it comes
I
to
know
rape
that.
and maybe even unsafe sex, before the 8 weeks time span, there are things that you can do to prevent the possibility of a pregnancy.
All right. So in disagreement to that with back to numbers, right?
Okay.
How many rape victims do you think are aware of rape kits? Especially in this part of the world. In somewhere like the United States of America, right? A shocking 33% of victims. America is one of the citadels of civilizations where everybody knows, right? A shocking 33% of rape victims actually go to get rape kits. Think about someone who just got raped. I said, I just got raped. So oh my God, let me.
They are
rush
not
to the
even in that
hospital.
frame
And
of
nobody
mind.
is in that frame of mind. Sometimes rape victims stay out of society and in contact with anybody for
But
even close to a year.
then again, we are talking about abortion and you are bringing in rape.
But it's
we are
still part of the
using it's
conversation.
part. So it's a fallacy of composition, right? Where when something can apply to a part and then we make it about the whole, right? So let's look extreme cases. There may be reasons
No, she
or
said
what
it's
Yeah.
not
she's
valid.
saying.
That's why I'm
Okay, that's why you're
If
Yeah, that's why I'm coming back to
person-
that. She
If
said
a
it's not valid.
person is pregnant
She must give birth.
and with the sound, the heartbeat of the baby has been found, God definitely has a plan for that baby. And I think it's very unfair to
Abort the baby.
Yes, to abort that baby.
All
I
right.
think it's really unfair to do that.
So you're saying every child that has a heartbeat, God has a plan for.
Yes, I agree.
So what of the children who have heartbeats then when it's time to give birth, they come out dead? What plan did God have for them?
From my understanding as a Christian, I believe that everything happens for a reason.
So this now is
And God
convenience. It's not
No.
convenient to say
So,
God has a
God
from
always
God
has
has a
a
plan
plan.
to say there's a reason for everything.
God always has a plan, and sometimes it could even be mistakes due to like medical issues. So okay, if there was if it was the
But
doctor
doesn't
who
God's
wasn't
plan
great at his
doesn't
job,
doesn't God's plan supersede our actions? Whether if God's plan is
Okay,
that
so-
a child would no. Like,
Okay,
just
I mean, I love-
if God's plan is that a child would live and succeed,
okay,
medical negligence shouldn't.
Oh
trump
no, we
God's
can't.
plan.
because God has a plan.
God is superior now.
God
not
has
cut
a
you- let me
plan.
not
God has a
cut.
plan.
Yeah.
But we are not robots. with us, God has given us a
Free
will.
God works through us.
Yes, and
Yeah.
God has
Free
given
will.
us
Exactly. I was gonna
intelligence
explain
and
that.
brilliance. So if a doctor doesn't know what to do and the life is lost in that case, that does not mean that God did not have a plan for that child.
That's
Do you
not God.
understand? Yeah.
Okay.
So you get, and human will. The problem with the world is actually human will. I mean, as a Christian, we will go back to the Garden of Eden. And this is where it gets tricky, because human beings, we believe that we are so intelligent and we can choose and make the rules by ourselves. But we cannot talk about morality and take God out of it. Because he's the true north, right? There is a compass. And if God values human life, no matter, I'm a cell biologist and a geneticist, even when the children come with disabilities and deformities, right? Congenital disease and all of that, guess what? Their lives are still valid.
I have a
I'm not
question
debating
as regards
that.
to that.
Okay.
I have a question as regards to that. So you said maybe the child comes with like some form of abnormality, right? And maybe, because I know that there are cases where when they realize that, when this child comes out, there's going to be something wrong with the child, maybe brain problem with the brain developing and all of that, and it's going to be very difficult for both
The child.
take care of the
Wait,
and
now,
the
let
mom,
me, yeah, it's going to be very difficult for both the child and the mom, and the doctor advises terminate the pregnancy.
Okay.
So would you now say that
So
in that case, because it's like, it's going to be difficult, not impossible, yes, but difficult. And to be honest, maybe I don't want to put this child through all of that, and I do not want to put myself through
So
all
you're
of that
making
as
a
well.
choice for that child.
Yes.
The child cannot make the choice.
All our life, our parents are
so-
making choices for us. Let's not
Don't
even,
kill me.
let's not
So,
even pretend
Again,
like
I
our parents don't make
get,
choices for
again,
us.
it's a case of a child comes into every, so everything I'm going to be saying will come from the vantage point of the value
Of life.
of human life,
Yes.
right? And that's where I stand. So, is the person with a disability or with a challenge worthy of living?
Yes, I'm not disputing that fact.
I dispute that
I'm not
fact.
disputing the fact
I
that the person with a
dispute it.
disability. Wait, because
Okay.
there are some cases.
But then again, these are
disability-
extreme cases.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. A disability. There are people living with disabilities. There are some disabilities that is like, I don't know how to word. I don't know how to word. You get what I mean? So it's like,
Can't properly
instead
function.
of for the rest of your life, you are basically going to be
in that position.
in that state. There's
Okay.
nothing that can change it, right?
Okay.
Instead of putting the child through all of that and putting yourself as a parent through all of that, why not just end it before it even
so
I want
begins?
to I want to put a real life example, right?
Okay.
There's a woman that lives downstairs, right? She got pregnant. My mom is really the mother's mother, right? She really likes Omugo, Igbo culture,
those
taking
things.
care. She really
Yeah.
loves it, right? She has done for almost everybody that lives close to us. And they like to talk about things to her, pregnant women, because she has 6 kids, experience. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So this woman came out, like, they went for tests, and they said, I'd forgotten the actual problem it actually is, that this baby, when it comes out, is going to have a very, like, terrible experience, just to summarize it, right? But she says she cannot kill a baby that is in her stomach, that she conceived, that she's a Christian woman. She's like, she can't bring herself to do that. The doctors did not advise her to do it. You would have just told her, because it's illegal in Nigeria, no matter what the situation is. To abort a baby is illegal. So the doctors will not offer you that service, because they don't offer services like that. And my mom told her that, you are the mother of the baby. At the end of the day, whatever you and your husband decide, I can't really give you an advice on this one. It's too serious. Then she gives birth to this child. This child was having seizures from day one at the hospital. The baby was crying. The baby will come back to the house every moment. Initially, we thought the baby was laughing, because it sounded like a laugh. This baby kept, and when we found out it was crying, and we realized that this child spends 90% of his time awake,
just in pain.
crying in pain, right? And at the end of the day, 3 months, baby died from a seizure in pain. And I was like, if abortions are legal, that child will not have a painful life experience leading to death. The mother would not have to experience that because it's also preserving life and valuing life to say no one deserves to live this way. I'm also valuing life to say a child does not need to. You just enter world with suffer. You suffer till
you die.
you go.
Okay.
And
guess-
the plan God has for us is good, not of evil. It only does to an expected end.
Okay.
Right? Is that the expected end? I don't think so.
So let's look at this. Now this will become a bit philosophical, right? Pain exists in this world. Do you understand? Evil. I don't want to go into theodicy and all of that. That's not. But you see, God in his sovereignty has allowed evil in this world, right? For many reasons. Some are known to us, some we will never know, right? But we understand that the world is imperfect. Again, a person who has agreed that every life is valuable, whether the person is diseased or has a problem, whatever problem it is, will value that life. Now, the child will be in pain, but there is value in the life of that person. And guess what? The person, let me speak from a scientific point of view. You may even have to study, okay, how do we prevent this kind of thing from happening if somebody has it? Do you understand? So, and this is just me bringing this out of my heart, right? Where, okay, this person has this disease. Can we do a genetic assay? Or let's do an analysis on the DNA or something to know how to prevent this kind of thing from happening, right?
Now,
I
also
also
Maybe not
No,
because
that's not
it tests
that's not
is
the case
specimen
of
B.
that's not the case of a lab rat. A lab rat is somebody you isolate and be running tests on for
I
personal.
also think that medicine is advancing every day, and as much as
Totally advances.
Exactly,
we
we're
should
not
keep
there yet.
suffering.
No, so we are suffering
as much as
already in
as
this
much
world.
as
I mean,
medicine
but
is
you want
because
to
a
add
lot
to
of
the
times.
suffering.
Sorry, I'm sorry for
no,
continuing.
that's okay. As much as medicine is advancing every day, I think that around here the only thing we're really keen about is the genotype. Oh, don't marry this, don't marry that. I think that now, as genetics advances, we can start to do genetic testing. So we actually start to
But
know
you
the
do
mutations that exist in your bloodline and your partner's bloodline. And I think that would actually, for this case,
But you
'cause
do realize that
I
the
can
doctor
see that you
saw
are
it.
very passionate.
Yeah.
But we can have this genetic testing even before the parents are married. And that averts the entire case. Would that make you happier?
Well, it would. It would. The thing is that me being pro-choice makes it sound like I don't value life. It is because I value life that I am
So
pro-choice.
if you value life, then the person should be alive.
It's because valuing life also flows
So we are
into
not-
valuing
If you
living
value
conditions.
life, valuing the
How do
quality
you
of the
actually
life that
live?
you are
Okay, there are
living.
people who are in extremely poor
Poverty
places
Yes,
now.
yes.
Do they deserve to
to
live?
live.
Yes, they do. Because
Now we understand that they will not deserve to live
explain.
that way.
Let me explain.
I think the angle
Being
we're coming
poor.
from is not
Yes,
being
being
understood.
poor is as a result of unequal classes.
Okay.
Capitalism.
Poverty is
Man-made.
many things, yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Man-made. And being poor, right, is not devoid of hope. You understand? There is hope.
It go better.
Exactly. As funny as it sounds,
It's the
at
truth.
least you have an option of ego better. Someone that is born with no brain, like a brain that is not functioning. There is no ego better.
So,
there are
okay.
situations where children, it is found in the mother's womb that the
brain is
child,
not developing well.
no, not even the brain. The child has no skull.
Okay.
Okay, so
where is the ego better for that
So looking
child?
at that, if the child has no skull, a lot of times that child will most likely die.
Yes.
Right? No. Hold on. There's a difference between somebody dying and you
Killing.
killing.
No.
Do you understand? Do you understand?
Wait now.
There is that. It's because we cannot go into euthanasia where you are saying, okay, I want to make this person not
The
suffer
pain,
again,
exactly.
and
I want
then
this pain to go away.
Is that you don't have that? Especially over you
privilege.
don't.
Wait, I want to ask
You
a
don't. That's the
question.
start.
There are
That's the
children,
standpoint.
so they are
of-
it's called acrania. There are children that actually come out that way. You would carry the pregnancy on 9 months, push out the child dies
Okay.
on impact,
Okay.
like immediately. So
Okay.
why go through? Because we always keep taking out the mother from the equation. the child. Carrying somebody is carrying expectation. When you have somebody in your, I'm not a woman, I can't speak authoritatively on the relationship between mother and child. But one thing I know from the outside looking in is that women form relationships with their children before they are born.
Yeah.
You carry this baby, let's say this side of the world where we don't have advanced technology, that our doctors are not even skilled enough to even know that this exists.
Your answer is your question, no?
No.
I'm hearing
then
you.
the woman gives birth to the child, and the child dies. To what is the end justifies the means? What is this end?
So the woman should then kill the child that you say she's had the relationship
bond with.
If honestly, having a relationship with the child will make you value the life, because the child is going to die regardless.
I
so
saw
regardless, the child is going to die.
I saw a claim that was published in the British Journal of Psychiatry, and the woman Priscilla Coleman shared, and she said, people who have abortions, there's a claim that people who have abortions are more likely to have mental
Depression, post-abortion
disorders,
depression.
not post-abortion depression, even up to substance abuse.
Okay.
So it's not just, you're saying, oh, let the baby, let her abort the baby. The bond has been formed already. So she can go from having that abortion to even being depressed.
So do you know that
to
there's
even-
also postnatal depression?
Exactly.
Even after a
There's-
successful
yes,
pregnancy,
exactly.
women still
So
slump
the-
into depression. So it's not mutually exclusive.
We're talking
We are
over
not-
each
sorry.
other. We're talking over each
It's not
other.
mutually
a
exclusive.
lot of passions.
But you know that even aside,
Yeah.
even in pregnancy, you
Yes.
can fall into depression.
Yeah.
Even
Exactly.
successful
Yes,
pregnancy,
you can
Exactly.
fall into
still fall
depression.
into
I
depression.
agree.
So the point
So, and my own is that you use that as an example.
With
like,
abortions,
It's more.
it is more.
I disagree.
It's
this is
a
research,
claim.
But
A
even-
claim.
But let's even look
It
at
was
this.
published.
Whether there is postpartum,
2011.
The fact that it was published.
whether it was
There's no
postpartum,
I can publish my final year project.
Journal of Psychiatry. It was published.
All right.
Kudos to them.
So the thing is, again, it comes from valuing human life. How precious is life to you?
Really.
And that's why it's pro-life. Then pro-choice means, okay, I can decide what I want to do. But guess what? We're even talking about the fringe, the extremes. Many people who want to, there are records to show that many people who want to have, who are pregnant are those who have had consensual sex and they're like, oh, I will not be. So I think we should
Okay,
focus
Yeah,
let me go to that.
You understand?
Let me go to that.
So because
go to that.
we have been going about extreme
We need to come
Down
back.
syndrome.
I wanna-
so let's
I want to say,
so let's not use the fallacy
We need
of
to cover
composition.
everything.
all right, so there are some people that believe in abortions for family planning. Like husband and wife have consensual sex, falls pregnant. I hate that I use fall pregnant. I hate that I
know a
use.
case like that.
Yes, but
I actually know a case like that.
husband plus wife realize that we are not in a condition, I don't know if it's financial, whatever reason it may be, we're not in a condition to actually birth and train a child as we are now. And decide the option to do is to take the child away.
Yeah, but that does not make sense. You're pregnant.
It makes sense.
You're
Okay, so
pregnant.
there's this.
It
Again,
makes
it's
sense.
there is no way because
It makes
okay, guess
sense.
what? God forbid. Since we're using conjecture, God forbid that they lose all their children. I mean, this is something ridiculous now,
We've seen
right?
people that
But the
abort
point,
8 children and go on to have 10.
no,
like-
I'm not saying no. I'm
that's
saying
not what he's
okay,
saying.
no, that's not. I'm saying God forbid,
Okay.
right? And this is just conjecture.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've had 6 children, and now this 7th mistake. I know
Yeah,
there's
accident
you know,
baby.
accident baby and all of that.
Yeah.
But guess what? That may even be the child that will end up being a blessing to the family, such a when people grow up and become the president.
That's
and
also
all of that, all of
probability.
that.
That's
So
very
it's-
Nollywood
so
for
For me, and
But the point is, there is always that probability.
Yes.
And pro-life says you are not the one. So you see, I'm still circling back to
Live
this.
your life.
You are not the one to determine
who
the
lives
out-
and
yeah,
who dies.
and who dies in the end.
Well, it's who lives and who dies, who lives and who dies. The heart, you see, like you said, the presence of a heartbeat, 8 weeks. It's literally just blood clots.
No, it's
In your
not. So
stomach.
no, so it's
Heartbeat.
not. So it's
The
not.
heart
It's
is
not
forming.
blood clot,
It's
right?
forming at.
In fact,
it
a
starts forming
zygote is
two-
from fertilization.
Yes,
And
I'm
then
aware.
it goes through that process, becomes a blastocyst. I don't want to go into the
I
whole
don't worry, because I
embryology
knew you were
matter.
coming. I read up on it. So don't worry.
You know,
I'm
that from
aware.
embryology, you see, then it comes a blastocyst, then there's morulation, implants onto the. But guess what? That thing, that zygote already becomes a living entity.
Yeah.
Is it
Right?
though?
So if it dies, let it be that you don't. That's all this is
Let
about.
it
So that
die.
you don't have a hand in
You don't have
it.
a hand in it.
Let's sit down.
That's all.
Conversation.
Let it be that I wanted this thing to live. I gave my best.
But
right?
this happened.
And this is a conscience issue. Because guess what? Let's even go there. If somebody has done one abortion, guess what? They can do another one. Their heart can
Fear
become
your
hardened.
conscience.
Do you understand? And then they can do another one.
Sure.
And I mean, you
I
know,
agree with that. I
we have a
agree.
relationship outside this, you know, I counsel people.
Yeah, I agree
and
with
we've had
that.
cases
I agree
like
with
that,
that.
right? But guess what? Let it be that you don't want anything to taint your conscience. God has said every life is precious. If something happens to that child, God forbid, let it be that you did not
Not have a
have a hand in killing that child.
I disagree.
I disagree with you too.
So we all.
That's why we're having this conversation.
I disagree.
We can,
all-
Yeah.
we can always
Oh,
have.
I
I feel like we
always
can
disagree.
all be very idealistic about this, right? But when push comes to shove, like when it's in front of you. Recently on TikTok, right? So the reason why we even have this conversation. Recently on TikTok, I saw someone reacting to a video. I don't even know how that video made its way to TikTok. I used to expect TikTok to be very strict with, you know,
Guidelines and stuff.
cruel stuff, right? I saw a video of a baby with a big knife in his chest.
A baby.
A baby.
Jesus Christ.
And it was being filmed because people started they heard someone run, then heard the baby cry. Then they run, and of course,
Don't
people's
tell me
first
a baby was
instinct
murdered.
To bring out their phone.
is to bring out their phone to film. Then they're filming this baby still alive.
Oh my God.
So this is
that's so
probably
sad.
I'm having goosebumps because I'm having flashbacks to the video. This is probably a mother that did not want a baby.
Okay.
Why shouldn't she have the option to go for an abortion? By the way, from this whole conversation, I'm not telling everyone to go for abortions indiscriminately because that's where I'm going to next,
Okay.
right? I'm not saying go out if you don't want. That's not what I'm saying. I was like, there should
But that
always
is choice.
be-
That is
there
the argument of pro-choice.
That's that. My argument is there should always be that option for who wants
So
to
no,
take
so
the
so
option.
the point is
there?
if okay, sorry.
Thank
Please
you.
speak.
Why is there
that's
this
like they're flirting.
why is there this conversation about if we should get abortions, and why we don't having the conversation about the need for safe sex education?
But you know that you can have safe sex. You can use a condom even in a marriage. You can use contraceptives and you will still conceive.
Yes, because I know
If
a
that-
case of a
what if that
relative was
happens?
doing
Yes.
family planning.
So
and
if
The
that-
life has value then.
Exactly. Do you understand? It's all about so the argument for pro-life. I see
life has value
we
in
cannot
that
cut
case.
corners because they've said baby has Down syndrome. Give birth to the child. The baby has heart problem. Let the child live. But now, the moment you open the door of pro-choice, choice means you can decide to make that choice.
The
Not
person
just once,
who
not twice,
murdered the
as
child,
many times as
pro-choice,
possible.
definitely.
Right? And then
We
so
all
we
make
cannot-
indiscriminate choices now. You steal today, you steal tomorrow, you steal next tomorrow. We all see.
but so-
my point is that that option should be available as healthcare. The crux of our conversation is it healthcare?
If there is a
So it also
So-
covers those extreme cases that
So
we're trying to
when
avoid.
we say healthcare now, healthcare must be defined by. Do you understand?
yes,
That-
there
that-
must
that
be a risk
even
involved.
how you
Okay.
approach healthcare has to come from a certain level of conscience,
Right.
right?
So let me just define. The World Health Organization defines healthcare as not only the absence of disease or infirmity, but also a state of physical, mental, and social well-being.
Thank you.
So-
you see that social
Yeah.
has to do with human interaction.
Yes.
Has to do mental. Do you understand?
Yes.
And guess what? Because you have an orientation that every life is important. What I approach in healthcare, my choices in healthcare will also be guided by that.
But
I
think
think you're
that
taking
do you
away.
think
You
that-
think
yes,
I
you
don't
think we
value
don't-
life?
No, we're not saying you don't value life. Oh. I'm saying I value life and I'm standing for pro-life.
Yes,
We
I value life
and
and
still
I
stand
stand
for
for
pro-choice.
choice.
So, but then you cannot now say, okay, I'm supporting abortion, no, but this is
I
how.
value
But
life,
don't,
but I
don't,
support
but
abortion.
don't abort it if
Yes.
it is like this. Don't abort it
It's
if
not
it is
a
like
fallacy. I value life, but I support abortion. It's not a fallacy.
this. No, if
It's
you
not.
value-
It's not. It's not.
So is
a-
it that the
it's not
life-
an oxymoron.
So what
So
life
is it that
do
the
you
life
value?
of
You
some
value
people
the
are more
life-
valuable than
exactly, or
others?
you value the
That's
lives
not
of
what
people
I'm
who
saying.
already.
I
That's not
believe
what
that
we're saying.
life at what cost? Being alive at what cost?
Okay.
Because we like to take away these extreme cases, but even if it is one woman a year that has a child without a skull, that one woman's case is valid.
Yes,
and it is accepted in the conversation, right?
Yeah.
So if that one woman should have a choice to not put herself and her baby through the stress.
Okay, I get that.
That's what
but
I'm
now,
saying. That option should be available. Illegalizing it does not stop its existence.
No,
that is
no,
one.
That's
one.
It even makes people go to quacks. And
Yes,
now
we cannot.
terrible repercussions.
So here we cannot say that. It's like saying there is a law against stealing, then it makes people much more sophisticated. The truth is, people.
It does make people sophisticated.
But you get the point. It's that. People, again, you must understand the heart of man is reprobate. Man in himself is reprobate. So the laws, why you will not, I'm a Christian,
Yeah.
there is a proud one, glory to God, is
Elvis
that
Christians, man.
the thing is, I recognize that the only good thing in me is the God in me.
All right.
Outside of God, outside of the laws of God, man, I am even with God now.
Yes, there is still
to be honest.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
So
Please, I'm also a Christian.
no.
I have to specify, like, I am a Christian. Like, let's not.
The point is, you don't give people encourage the option of killing children, and I'm saying that to bring the gravity of pro-choice into it. So pardon me,
killing,
right? But it's killing. It's killing.
And to be honest, you see this whole thing of encouraging the option of killing children and not encouraging the option of killing children. I encourage the option of having an abortion where it is necessary. It does not mean that I'm saying everybody should just.
So now you've seen.
But we've been explaining the
no.
necessary.
Somebody is saying, okay,
We've
I am 30,
Yeah.
and I had sex with my boyfriend, and I'm not ready for a child.
Her body, her rules.
Her body are rules, Abi. So
rights,
what? Okay, the person has money, but the person says, I don't want a child,
Do you think
and I'm
that
pregnant.
money is the only thing?
No, you don't get. I'm saying the person has not even just money, can take care of the child, but the person is saying, I don't want a child.
Yes.
But now you are having the sex.
Personally, yeah.
Do you understand?
One thing I will say, I'm not a woman.
Okay.
I can't really speak on a woman's choices with her own body because I cannot relate. I don't have the range or lived experience for that.
Yeah,
A woman that comes out and says she has fallen pregnant. I hate to say that. She has fallen pregnant and doesn't want to keep the baby. Cook on me. I believe if she is right in her own mind.
So that is
do it.
That
it's
is
not
where dysfunction spreads in the society. So look at me. If everybody, there has to be truth. There has to be what guides the moral code, the moral fabric of people,
society,
right? Of a society.
Morality cannot be objective. One moral standing cannot fall for everybody. We have been quoting the Bible, right? So what happens to atheists? Because we have freedom of association.
So the point
what happens to other people that don't believe in the Bible?
So if you don't believe in, does not mean there is no. Again, I started with that you cannot speak about morals outside of God. He's the true north. He's the core of morals.
With no morals. There are people with no morals.
So they've become a law unto themselves. Do you understand? And then that means they validate the actions. This is what I feel like doing. And we've seen how such people. Do you understand? There are rules that must guide humanity. There must be rules. And this is simple. God has said every life is important. Now, because of the corruption in the world, certain things happen. Guess what? The life of that child is important. And let me say this. I was born out of wedlock. I mean, you knew that.
I'm aware.
Do you understand? Imagine my mother decided not to keep me. The world would be lacking Kunle Kenny. Do you know how many thousands of lives I've blessed?
I will be fine.
Do you understand? No, you wouldn't have known.
I'm joking.
You wouldn't have known. Do you get the point? So every human life is important. And guess what? Now, there can be people, this conversation has been going on for many years. Oh, people who have been raped, there are people who have been raped. They found healing, gave birth to children. Or to the child, right? Or to the children, depending on that.
Could be twins. Do
you understand? Or I'm even saying the children regarding the population of people who have been raped. And they are fine.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, there will also be the
other people.
But that is the world we live in. So we cannot claim that because we want the sanity of humanity, let us now encourage pro-choice.
Yeah.
We've seen how these things turn out when we make people be laws unto themselves. We are not that good as human beings.
not that good.
We are not that good.
All right, so I feel like we can't exhaust. We can't. We're not trying. If you're watching the show, we're not trying to convince each other. It's like
We're
we're
not
not
trying to
convince each
We are
other, right?
just
So
stating.
just to end the conversation, right? Are there any situations where you feel an abortion should be suggested? One sentence. Or do you think every conception should materialize? Every single one?
If the life of the vehicle, that's the mother, is in danger, severe danger, medically, then by all means, you must save the mother.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
I mean, that's why.
You must save the
And
mother.
that is because, again, if it
The
is
life
going to
is
take
valid.
a life, you see that
It's still
this
valid
pro-life
life.
talk now is a straight line. I'm not saying you can abort, you cannot have. If it is going to take a life, then the life should be forfeited. So in case of a pregnancy where this child will cause death, certain death to this mother,
Not a probability of
then it's
death.
not the problem. Do you understand? And then, I mean, because the mother will be able to
Have
more
other
children.
and even in such cases, based on the people's conviction, there are times people have said, you know what, I will take my chances. We've had cases like that. So it's all about depth of conviction.
One thing I have a problem with is when there is a situation between life and death, mother and child, and the husband is asked who
See,
should leave.
don't even trigger me on that one. Let's not even start that one.
Personally, I feel like the person that should be asked that question is the mother and father of the wife that is pregnant. Please,
understand.
because I've seen situations literally
You shouldn't even
where the
choose.
father
No, I
picked
think
the
that.
child
Yes,
Honestly,
and the child came out.
There was a woman that came online. There was a woman that came online
Not
to say her
not
story
being
of
with
something like
unkind
this.
people.
So you see,
That's just
again,
it. You
core
don't want to be with someone who
values,
is
right?
unkind.
Core values will always shape how we approach
Things.
these matters. And that's why I will always come from a religious point of view, even though, it's a secular conversation. But you must understand that everyone has something in their minds when they come to a secular conversation. And that's why this conversation must...
a ground.
It must be had.
Chris, so the question is there any situation where you feel like someone's choice to have an abortion should be overruled?
Someone's choice to have an abortion should be overruled. I think I would say, okay, in a case where I don't know how to word it, so it's like,
Just word it anyhow. The Holy Spirit will lead you.
please, Holy Spirit, please lead me. Lead me.
I usually will lead you in pro-choice.
Please lead me. I was going to say, but then I'm trying to think about it and see if it actually makes sense. Because I was going to say,
Thank you.
in the case where the person is not in the right frame of mind to make that decision,
Okay.
then yes, I
All
think
right.
someone
Okay.
else should make the decision.
That's very
yeah.
valid. The Holy Spirit did guide her.
Yeah. Oh, you think because I'm pro-choice, I don't have the
All right. So one thing I found out in school is that there are ladies. Should I say that there are people
Okay.
that get pregnant deliberately because pregnancy does things to the body, right? It makes you thicker. You have a bigger bum, more cinched waist, basically free BBL. So they do that. And when they start having
Then they
the
abort.
bodily change, then they abort.
So you,
But won't your body go back to the way it was?
But you can keep it that way.
For how? Oh.
You know, there are mothers that after they give birth, their bodies
just
change
look.
permanently.
So you see.
So that is an extreme that I, Elvis Christian, is not in support of.
but how?
You're pro-choice.
Yes, I am
but
pro-choice.
you're
They
pro-choice.
have
If
a
you are-
choice.
But they are extreme. I mean, like you said,
They
there are
have
extreme
a
cases.
choice.
But with,
Still, they
well,
have
I
a
get
choice.
you,
But
but
what
but
you
you see,
said.
no.
There are extreme
The
cases to
point
everything.
So the
They are
point
religious
is when you
fanatics,
give people
but it's still
room,
Jesus that they are really
when
using.
you give people room to explore, and that's the danger of free will. But guess what? Everybody has free will, right? I mean, most human beings have free will, right? When you make that argument for them that, well, your body, your choice. you then cannot say
exactly.
this is the limit.
Don't now
do you
come
know?
back
Because you are
to
saying
say,
I
oh, you
support.
cannot go this
all
far.
rights have limits. If you're,
Do you understand? But I'm pro-life all the way.
So where do we draw in your case, you're saying, oh, this is, where do you now, who draws
But somebody
the
tells you
line?
my body, my
Who
choice.
draws
I'm
the
saying-
No, me, I get you.
line?
This is a personal.
yeah, I'm saying that me, I don't like it. Will I go out of my way?
No,
to
no,
stop?
no,
I'm
definitely,
just saying that
definitely.
this is just
Okay.
a reservation.
It's
I
personal
have.
reservation, yeah.
But of course, it still applies to her body, her choice. Whatever she wants to do, she will do. But me, Elvis Christian, I do not agree with that.
Because it's almost like, I mean, it's selfish.
Yeah, like
Crazy.
But isn't pro-choice most of the times
Selfish.
That will now bring
we
us.
are
We'll
allowed
start
to be
we'll-
selfish. You are allowed to be selfish. Me, I'm very selfish. Oh.
So to what
good.
degree?
Of
Yeah,
selfishness.
selfishness.
Because-
Exactly.
No. Is either people allowed to be because
Or
this
not.
is. Do you understand?
So
Yeah.
you're selfish or you're
Is that
selfish.
you're
Even
selfish
some
or-
people that are selfless, their selflessness is out of selfishness.
Even
Hey,
you
don't
choosing
listen.
pro-life and say, oh, it's also you.
Yes, that's because you want to guide your conscience.
Yes,
you don't want
like
to
it
feel
is.
like, oh,
you
I
know
killed
whether
a
the child they're
baby.
giving birth to is a Christian.
Anyway, what do you think?
Anyways, let's move on to trending topics because we cannot exhaust. We can have part 20 of this conversation and we'll be saying different things. But let's move on to trending topics. Right about now, we'll be talking about things that happened on social media, specifically Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, not your business. All right, so Tolani Baj and Avala recently had an exchange online, and everyone was surprised at Tolani's response because people were surprised that Tolani Baj had a controlled reaction because people might assume like she would just
blow a gasket.
but she dropped paragraphs with punctuations and all of that. So what do we think about this? Should I just narrate the story, right? Tolani Baj is on tour, and on tour she's supposed to have a guest appearance of Avala, another Big Brother housemate, who's going to perform her new song, which Tolani Baj has previously supported. There was an agreement between Avala and management, but we know with the way production happens, when she was performing, according to Tolani Baj, when she was performing, her time was cut short from 1 hour to 30 minutes. So she and her management chose her set over a guest appearance. And Avala did not like that and came online directly to say Tolani Baj has made an enemy out of her.
So
What do we think?
For me, I think.
It's one sentence. We didn't have time.
Oh, sorry, no vex. For me, I think that shouldn't even have gotten to social media. That's what me I feel, because like they're supposed to be friends, right? If I'm expecting a favor from my friend and something
favor.
goes wrong, I don't know what it
No,
was.
it's a
I don't
favor.
know
I'm
if
saying
it
it
was
is a favor.
Okay,
It was a favor.
okay. So if I'm expecting a favor from my friend and for some reason something goes wrong, I go to my friend. Nobody on the internet really cares about your business. People are just looking for gist, and you are giving them something to talk about.
Elon Musk money.
You are giving them money,
is
something to talk
farming.
about.
All right, so do we have anything?
I mean, I agree with that, so that we don't. But if you have a relationship with someone and you are aggrieved, talk to them in private. It's simple. You don't. So I'm even worried that the intent to put that out is malicious.
Yes.
I agree.
Do you understand? You couldn't have your way. So it's either you want to malign this person and gain public sympathy, and
Because
then,
she
and
was even
it
telling me
doesn't make
because
sense.
Tolani Baj is someone who is constantly under fire on social media
that was-
because
that
we
was
believe
the reason.
That song will
I'm
now not,
guilty.
it will not be sweet.
I'm very guilty because when I saw Avala's tweet, I was like, Tolani Baj. safe.
Again.
You understand? Because she capitalized
Bro.
off her bad,
This is-
bad rep.
Do you know this is sorry?
Yeah.
Okay, no, let her talk. So I'll let everybody go around first.
I think that Tolani is always in the news for one thing or the other.
yeah.
So I think that the reaction of everybody was quite expected. But I'm really glad that she's doing some inner work and there's a lot of maturing going on.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, Tolani.
So
This is the first.
the bandwagon effect, and one must be very careful.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, I'm very active on Twitter, right? Where you could have seen, I don't know if it has happened to you, where you saw something, you were not offended.
But
You
someone's
now saw
reaction
the
to
comment, but
it.
you're not
Yes.
like, so
Wait,
we must be careful
Yes.
now. So we are more impressionable than we want to
believe
agree.
we are, yeah.
We are not as, and I like saying it, so it keeps me in check. Kunle, you're not as smart as you think you are. and you're not also as dumb as you think you are. We are
as
very
dumb, full stop.
We are very impressionable people. So that could have, the bandwagon. Hey, this Tolani, the people
were piling up on her already.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure happy with the response that Tonali gave.
Yeah, it was very mature. And,
so she left room for you can disagree and drop your own comments, but she just put her own story out there.
And if you look at it, it reeks of entitlement.
Yeah.
Right. Well, anyways.
All right, so let's move on. Still on Big Brother. Big Brother housemates are really, they keep us engaged.
Drama.
Yeah, I like the show for that. They know how to cast people that will keep us engaged long after their seasons aired. So Katrina, I don't know if you know Katrina.
Yes.
Yeah, Katrina was recently called out for allegedly photoshopping her name on a private jet. So there is a misconception with this. Also bandwagon effect. People, because of the way Katrina is, right? People assume that she said she bought a private jet. From 2021 till date, she randomly posts a picture of a private jet and say, this is her dream. This is where she is headed. So this was the first time she posted and put her name on it and says something like, the future,
the life where I want to live now, I will post now.
The life I want to live is the life I will be posting.
So she's not saying that it's hers.
We don't read around.
We
shit.
don't. I said
No, we don't. No, it's not just
People
here.
read anything.
So people now
And I blame
all
this-
the
and people
blogs
always
run with it
run
that
and
she photoshopped.
Oh
People
my
now got
God.
the picture, actual if you on Google Images,
Yes, I
you will
know,
get
yeah.
the real image.
Uh-huh.
People say that, but she herself did not fight that because she's also a clouds babe. So you're talking about Bishop.
You know,
Let's go on.
this thing is crazy. What you said, people actually don't read. Somebody was selling the image of a PlayStation 5.
Yeah,
Here,
I
you
saw
saw
it.
that. You saw that.
I saw
The
it.
guy put it in the caption. I think it was $2,000 or one
He wrote
amount.
it verbatim.
Yeah, you are paying this amount for the image, a printed image.
And people
And people
bought it
pay.
Yeah, I
expecting
think somebody
to
had,
see.
somebody. I think somebody
He
bought
wrote it. It's not an illegal sale
Wow.
because he told you the service that you are paying
It's
for.
your
When you
fault
pay,
I'm
you
not
would have
rich.
paid for a printed copy
There, and people did not read.
image. Yeah,
So it's just
That guy
goes
is a
to
very smart guy.
Yeah, it just goes to show
Easy money.
reading culture amongst us on social media. Because
on it.
I'm not even going to lie.
Speak on it.
When I saw
We don't
Katrina,
even
I
watch
was
videos.
like, oh, for God's sake, Katrina. Of course, you can't afford a private jet. Only to now realize today that it's not that she never said she bought
See
a
this
private jet.
life?
So maybe I should start reading more.
Read, please.
Read, people,
Take your
read,
time.
read.
Take your time and read captions.
To me, I agree that I don't usually read because attention span really, if you can't get me the first few words, I'm out. So whatever I take
How
out,
do
I take
people
out.
even? How do we solve this problem now? in this
Don't worry,
generation?
it's God that will help us. Anyways, guys, we've come to the end of another spectacular episode of Paul's Hot Takes. Guys, do know that you can stream us everywhere that is streamable. We're available on audio and video formats like YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music for your entertainment pleasures. That sounded so nice, right?
For your entertainment pleasures.
It's not pleasure to be entertained.
It's pleasure to be entertained.
Anyways, guys, we'll catch us same time, same place. Please subscribe, like, leave a nice comment. If you disagree with any of our takes, please do share it. We always like to hear what you think. And if you want to join us on the show, please reach out to us on all our platforms and we'll get across to you as regards how you would come on the show because it's hot takes and I believe you've got what it takes. All right, good night. We'll see you.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.